Hello everybody, Jard is here, and in today's video I'm currently at the Far Shore Waypoint in beautiful Lion's Arch. Now the reason why I'm here is because in a previous video I explained how to use a Springer, a Raptor, and a Bonds of Faith mount ability in order to reach the end of the jumping puzzle that is here in Shark Maw Caverns. I believe it is called Weyandt's Revenge. I'm not quite certain how to pronounce that name, so I do apologize. I still prefer to call this jumping puzzle the Pirate Cove because that's what it reminds me of. Well, anyway, in that video, I explained how to get from a vista point to get to this waterfall that you see across the way, and which is the end of the jumping puzzle. But for those of you who do not have those abilities or those mounts, I'm going to show you a sort of a new player-friendly method, along with some tricks that you may or may not know about how to make the jumping puzzle a little easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to go jumping on those bales of hay onto this roof, and then we're going to drop down into this little area and through this wall of vines. Now we're going to continue jumping and going up because some of these areas are a little tricky underfoot, and you'll have another tunnel to follow through. This is also the direction you would want to go to if you want to reach that vista in order for a map completion, by the way.
Think you have the cunning and strength to get through me traps? Do so, and you can have a share of me plunder.
Okay, once you get to the vista, I do apologize, I wanted the captain to finish speaking before I continued. The entrance to the jumping puzzle is actually through this mouth opening here, but a lot of times a lot of people get discouraged because you actually have to fall down, and most of the time players end up dying from fall damage. Well, I'm going to show you a little trick to mitigate that fall damage. You'll still take fall damage, but you won't take as much. Now what we're going to want to do is come to this side of the rock, and then we're going to inch our way over until we land to the top of this little rock that is sticking out of the wall. So, okay, we're going to jump forward just a bit. Come on, there we go. And then we're going to slide the rest of the way down. Now, as a side note, once you're down in this location, if you're a ranger, you can actually go into this lagoon area and find a juvenile shark here. I know that there are other locations you can find juvenile sharks now, but before, for the while, this was probably the only place in order to obtain the juvenile shark for rangers, which in my opinion is one of the better underwater pets there is. Anyway, back onto the jumping puzzle. We're going to continue on. Now, the puzzle is separated by several rooms. Each one has their own little trick and gimmick. Now, when we get to this first one, which is right through here, a lot of people will interact with this strange light, which will act as a guide to get you through this darkened maze labyrinth area. But there's actually a shortcut so you don't waste your time. Happen to notice this little strange rock formation here? It seems to be pointing down this route. Well, let's take this route. Huh, wait, it's a dead end. Actually, it's not. It's just a fake wall. And if you keep on going, notice this torch here? Oh wow, that's another fake wall, haha! And keep going, and oh wait, there's another torch. But there's another one over there. But this one is blue. It's the same color as the two torches that we just passed through with a fake wall. Oh, guess what? Another fake wall, haha! Now, another way that you can actually go through that labyrinth that might make things easier is to go into your option settings. Go to where it says graphic options and increase your gamma to about between 150 to 200. Now it's not actually going to show in this recording because this is actually affecting my monitor versus the gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and reset it back to where it is. But by adjusting the gamma, you can actually see it a little better in there, just as a side note. Now, from once we get up to there, we're going to pass through this waterfall. We're going to go up on these rocks. Okay, now we're hitting the next part of the jumping puzzle.
To survive this path, you must follow the directions exactly. Now, slowly forward.
I do apologize for that wait. I'd rather wait until the pirate captain has finished his narration before I decide to continue on. Okay, now in this one, it's a bunch of tunnels that have a lot of dangerous spikes popping in and out from the roof and both sides, and sometimes some on the bottom. If you generally stay in the center of the route, you generally can get through relatively without incidents. There are a few areas in which, regardless of how careful you are, you're always going to get stabbed, like from here. At this point, you don't want to fall down there. No, you want to jump across, but as soon as you do, you're going to get stuck. It shouldn't really kill you unless your health is like abysmal at this point, but I would use this area as a rest to bring your health back up if you've taken damage. So, here we go.
I'll jump.
There we go.
You didn't see that one coming, eh?
Just continue on, stay near the center of the route as much as possible. Now when we get here, we're going to want to wait for these to retract, and once they pull back, we dash forward as fast as possible.
Remember me to bring
And we are through. Now we don't have to deal with that anymore.
Where are you?
Follow down here. Drop down here. Jump on here. Jump on here. Now, this next room is actually rather interesting because it goes completely dark. Even changing the gamma does not affect it. And what you need to do is that...
survival is subject to you. Let's see you outsmart the captain.
As you can see, it is rather dark. Now, the objective to this is to get from one side of the room to that area. Now, as you just saw, there was a brief flash of light that gives you an idea of where those platforms are. Well, there's another way to do that. If you have any area of effect skills that have this little circle on the number, for example, you click that once to bring up a circle. And you can use this circle to act as a sort of a sonar so you can see where each of the jumps are. As long as you don't use the skill, the circle will stay up. Once you reach here, you're going to want to go to this entrance, but you want to stay as close to the center of the drop as possible. You do not want to get hit by any of the walls or protrusions that come from those walls while you're dropping down, because otherwise you'll take instant fall damage and die. So stay close to the center as possible, and bada bing bada boom. Now, for some reason there is an invisible wall here. I don't understand why that is, but you just simply go around and bada bing bada boom. There's that magnificent chest for the end of this jumping puzzle. Now, also, just as another side note, when you get down here, you want to sit in this chair, because if you sit in this chair, I have already collected it, but it does count for an achievement for sitting in various chairs throughout Tyria. And if you sit in enough of them, you actually get a chair of your own to add to your toy collection. And this is the exit, which is also the way that I showed you in my previous video, which I will link in the description below, where you would go to in order to exit or enter if you decide to use the shortcut way. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Feel free to share this information who would like to do the jumping puzzle normally without using the mounts. And I hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, happy gaming!